Claim versus reality, Ballroom edition. Let's do this the right way. Not vibes, not gold trim, not, sir, we need a ballroom. We're doing claim versus reality. And today's claim is this. Donald Trump says the White House needs a massive new ballroom, because Washington, D.C. supposedly does not have the right space for big presidential events. Sounds simple, until you check the map, until you check the timeline, until you check the square footage. Because D.C. does not have a ballroom problem. D.C. has a receipts problem, and the receipts are not helping Trump. The claim is, the White House needs a new ballroom because presidents need a secure, grand space for major events. That is the argument: security, prestige, capacity, modernization, and yes, presidents do need secure spaces. But here is where the claim starts wobbling. Because Trump is not asking whether Washington has ballrooms. Washington has plenty. The real question is, does D.C. already have spaces large enough, historic enough, and secure enough to host major presidential events? And the answer is not hard to find. It is standing in brick, columns, hotels, convention centers, and history. Let's walk the timeline. 1881. Congress directed Montgomery C. Meigs to design the Pension Building, now the National Building Museum, as a memorial tied to Civil War veterans. Construction ran from 1882 to 1887, and the building later became a National Historic Landmark. 1895. The old Pension Building hosted President Grover Cleveland's inaugural ball, with about 9,000 people under a temporary canvas roof, according to the source text you provided. Then came more inaugural balls. Not one, not two, a long history of them. This building was doing presidential-scale events before cable news, before social media, before Truth Social, before Trump Tower, before anybody was arguing about a $400 million ballroom. Fast forward, the National Building Museum's Great Hall became one of D.C.'s most dramatic event spaces. It has hosted inaugural events, high-profile political gatherings, and major public events. Your source notes that Trump and Melania were already familiar with the hall from inaugural events and that Melania's candlelight dinner was held there before Trump's second inauguration. Then Trump complains about the columns. Not the size, not the history. The columns. The federal GSA says those Corinthian columns rise 75 feet inside the Great Hall. So the timeline is clear. D.C. did not suddenly wake up without ballrooms. D.C. has had presidential-scale rooms for more than a century. So here is the punchline. Trump says he needs a ballroom. But Washington says, we already have ballrooms. The Great Hall says, I'm bigger. The convention center says, I'm bigger than that. The hotel ballrooms say, we host presidents, press dinners, donors, and power players already. And history says, baby, we were doing this before your gold paint dried. So this is not just about square footage. This is about framing. Because when a politician says, we need this, your first question should always be, who is we? The country, the presidency, the public, or one man's legacy project? Now drop your verdict in the comments. True, misleading, or needs context. Does D.C. really need a new White House ballroom? Or is this just a $400 million mirror with chandeliers? Hit subscribe, share this with somebody who only heard the claim, and comment, receipts, if the numbers changed your mind.